3 killed as Israel and Hezbollah trade fire. 2 Israeli soldiers and a Spanish peacekeeper have been killed as Hezbollah militants trade fire with Israeli forces on the Lebanese border. A spokesman for the UN Interim Force in Lebanon, Unifil, urged maximum restraint to prevent an escalation. The peacekeeper was killed close to the disputed Shebaa Farms area, where an Israeli convoy was earlier hit by anti-tank missiles, killing 2 soldiers. The Israeli military responded by firing shells into southern Lebanon. Hezbollah said it carried out the missile attack in retaliation for an Israeli airstrike that killed 6 of its fighters and an Iranian Revolutionary Guards general in the Syrian Golan Heights 10 days ago. Tragic incident. Wednesday's cross-border violence erupted when Israeli military vehicles were hit at about 11:35-9:35 GMT near Mt Dov, in the Shebaa Farms area, a disputed tract of land where the borders of Israel, Lebanon and Syria meet. The Israeli military said 2 soldiers were killed and 7 others injured. But it rejected the report by Lebanon's official national news agency that 1 had been captured. Just over an hour later, mortars hit an Israeli military position on Mount Hermon, prompting troops to close the site and evacuate civilians from a ski resort in the area. The Israeli military said it responded to the attacks with combined aerial and ground strikes on Hezbollah operational positions along the border. Lebanese officials said at least 50 artillery shells were fired at the villages of meet.The, Shebaa and Kfar Shaub. Later, Unifil announced that 1 of its peacekeepers had been killed. "We are looking into the circumstances of this tragic incident," spokesman Andrea Tenenti said, without specifying the source of the fire. He also declined to give the peacekeeper's nationality, but Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy expressed on Twitter his great sadness at the death of a Spanish soldier in Lebanon. Mr. Tenenti said Unifil's commander, Major Luciano Portolano, was in close contact with all the parties, urging maximum restraint to prevent an escalation. The UN Special Coordinator for Lebanon, Sigrid Kaag, expressed deep concern over the serious deterioration of the security situation and urgently called on all parties to refrain from any actions that could destabilize the situation further. Criminal terror attack. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said it was prepared to act powerfully on all fronts, adding, "Security comes before everything else." His office accused Iran, Hezbollah's main backer, of being behind what it described as a criminal terror attack by the Shia Islamist movement. In a statement, Hezbollah said the number of Israelis were killed in the attack by a group calling itself the Heroic Martyrs of Qunaytra, an apparent reference to an area of the Syrian Golan Heights where the Israeli airstrike took place on January 18. Sources in Israel said that attack was aimed at stopping an attack on Israeli soil. The Israeli military had already boosted its air defenses and stepped up surveillance along its northern frontiers, after Hezbollah and Iran vowed to seek revenge. Earlier on Wednesday, Israeli aircraft bombed Syrian army artillery positions in response to 2 rockets that were fired the previous day into the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Israeli medics said up to 7 people were lightly injured by the rocket fire. The flare-up along the Israeli-Lebanon frontier recalls the beginning of the month-long war between Israel and Hezbollah in 2006, which was triggered by a Hezbollah attack on an Israeli military vehicle that led to the kidnapping and killing of 2 Israeli soldiers.